you don't have that
Right.
backup, that what do you call it? Background feedback.
Yeah. Ricochet.
Okay, I'm going to mute everyone. There it is.
Got you.
Excellent. Let me just hit record on the Zoom. Boy, there's a lot of steps to this.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, everyone, to the ER Shred Come Alive call. We are so grateful to be with you tonight. And we're grateful for those that are showing up and willing to share their results and their experience with the ER Shred, because it is so meaningful to those of us that have experienced it, to those of us who know what it's like to come alive, what it's like to, take back control. For those of us that know what it's like to learn about our own body and kind of gain that intuition and form our own unique food blueprint. There's so much going on here with this protocol, and it's really, really exciting, and it's unbelievably empowering. And I've been doing this now for 18 months, and I'm still learning about myself. And that's the cool thing, is that this protocol, it actually, within 11 days, it begins to teach you how to learn your body's language. And I think that's the most powerful thing of all. Of course, the community is amazing, and the kinds of people that we're attracting are amazing. And it goes way beyond weight loss, as you'll see tonight. But first, a few announcements. Number one, for all of you on the group shred, we know that you're on day one of the actual reset. So we know you're cleansing, and we know that for those of you that have never done anything like this before, that can feel challenging. Rest assured that tomorrow, which is day 2 of your reset portion of the protocol, tomorrow you're going to feel so much better, and it's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be all downhill from here, is the good news. And I think you'll find that you'll wake up tomorrow and you'll say, wait a minute, what happened? Because I really don't feel hungry. It's just a miracle. So with all of that in mind, press forward. Just give us 4 days, just give us 4 days. And I believe by the 5th day, you'll realize why this is so powerful and magical. What else do I have to announce? We had a Heart of ER Shred award recipient announced. That was Susan Durden Hermance. And we're grateful for you. I just wanted to make an announcement of that on here as well. Thank you for everything that you do and for showing up for ER Shred. Wanted to thank Jesse and Coleman Clifford for their call last night. If you guys didn't get a chance to see that call, it's on the YouTube channel. It's also on the podcast, so you can go catch up on that. And Crystal and Susan had an incredible call last week on mindset. And so I wanted to thank Susan Rothman and Crystal Escobar for that. And tomorrow night, Bob will have his Shredders Unite call. And you guys, if you want to get on that, it's at the same time now, just so you know. It's at the same time as this call. It's at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And so Bob was able to bring that back in line with the other calls as far as time. And so that's another thing you don't want to miss. We want to wish well our chief shreducator, and that's Heather Sika Leonard, because she is under the weather. None of us can escape it. The sickness is going to hit you one way or another. It's just our current reality with, our environment and everything we're exposed to. I wish you could escape all of it, but you can't. And so with that in mind, just everybody, if you could send loving thoughts, prayers, energy, vibes, all the good stuff towards Heather Sika Leonard and anyone else that's not feeling well. We're thinking about you. We love you. And don't worry, this too shall pass. You'll be right back on track. Okay, you guys. So tonight we wanted to start with, and these people that come on and share their testimonials, we honor you. We thank you. We have massive gratitude for you, because it's really you guys, the heroes, who you're the hero of your own story. And it's you that really speak to the people out there about what's possible for them and why they might want to do something like this, or continue with something like this, or even try something as crazy and outlandish and wild as this. For some people, this is a pretty big, it's a pretty big leap to do ER shred. And we want to normalize it. We want people to know that, this is a legitimate elimination protocol that can give you back power. So our first testimonial we had tonight is Jessica Hughes. You out there, Jessica?
I'm here. Hello.
Hi, Jessica. Well, thanks for joining us. And where are you calling from?
I am calling from Bozeman, Montana.
Bozeman, Montana. Very cool. And who shared ER shred with you?
Oh, I'm not specifically sure. I've been using Isagenix for probably 6 or 7 years now. So somebody in one of my Isagenix groups.
Perfect. Okay, that's cool. Well, we'll take it. We'll take you. So give me an idea. What is your passion? Like what are you the most passionate about in your life? Just so we can get to know you a little bit.
I'm probably most passionate about my family, and then also church, my church family and my family. Those are the two things I like spending most of my time on outside of work.
Very cool. Wonderful. And then give us an idea. What got you interested in ER shred? How did you decide to do it? And kind of what have you experienced as a result?
Well, I think why I decided to try it is I was having a hard time maintaining the regular Isagenix protocol. And for the past couple of years, I've just been on like this 15-pound roller coaster, which, for some people isn't a whole lot of variance in weight, but I'm not even 4'11". So 15 pounds is quite a bit for me. So I just couldn't get out of this roller coaster. So that's kind of what made me decide to try something that was a little different. Mm-hmm. And maybe also I wanted to tell people eating all meat is not good. Which I no longer think.
Good. Okay. So that's cool, because that's what I'm kind of referring to. We want to make sure we kind of remove the stigma around that. So give us an idea. You go on ER shred. What unfolded for you? What kind of things did you learn? What results did you see? All that good stuff.
So I think my biggest bonus to the ER shred was how appetizing it is. I never look at a plate of eggs, bacon, any sort of meat and like say, I don't want that. Versus, it would be pretty hard for me to whip up a salad and veggies and eat fruits, and like those sorts of healthy things just aren't my appetite. So I really enjoyed how appetizing it is. And then also, I do not have sugar cravings on this protocol. And
did you before?
Oh yes, with the regular Isagenix protocol, I definitely still have sugar cravings.
Okay.
I'm a big sweet tooth and I'm a stress eater, so I go towards sweets when I'm under stress. And it's been, pretty substantial the past few years. I'm a CPA, so it's just kind of been hell in our industry. So
yeah, I understand. And obviously what does that that equals more cravings. It equals the stress is just vicious. I was talking about it just last night or Monday night. I was talking about the stress and the effect it has on me personally.
Yeah. And it's, I did 2 shreds, one in September and one in August and one in October. Mm-hmm. And then I started again at the beginning of January, and I've been on a straight shred since then. And I still am like totally fine not having sweets. And at this time of year, my bosses fill our break room with all the snacks you could want. And It's pretty feels like a big win to avoid it for a whole month.
Huge win.
And not it really.
Right. Wow. Congratulations. And so were you able to lose any weight that you had hoped?
I did. I didn't start in January for weight loss, but I dropped about um, maybe 12 pounds, I think.
Oh, good.
I kind of gained a lot of weight in December because I was going crazy because I knew I was going to do this, which is not the thing you want to do, but I did.
We're human. It happens.
Yeah. So
Especially when we're under stress, or I've noticed the same thing when you're sick. If you get sick,
mhm.
I mean, I do. I feel like just throwing in the towel and just caving.
Yeah.
Sucks. But the cool thing is the last couple times I got sick, it's the one thing I was really able to manage was my diet. Because I just kept telling myself, if I do that, it's only, that's ultimately going to compound the problem for me. Like, let's at least maintain that. And so for me to have willpower around that has been really, really amazing for me.
Yeah.
Any other non-scale victories that you noticed?
Um, Not really that I can think of, other than maybe I would say my menstrual cycle feels less painful, I
Oh,
guess you
good.
could call it, like less bloating and
Yeah,
like
no, that's a real thing, Crystal. Right.
um, so I kind of noticed that. I have struggled with acne my whole life, and that didn't really seem too improved this
Mhm.
month, but I think that's really related to chemical imbalances. So it's going to take more than 11 days, 30 days, and I realize that. So I'm just being patient with it. But my biggest purpose for saying, okay, I'm going to commit to more than just an 11-day shred is my asthma has been getting substantially worse, like the past 18 months or so.
Mhm.
And I've had naturopaths and people tell me over the years, like, you don't have to live with asthma. Like, food allergies really trigger asthma. And I've just not wanted to commit to cutting out food triggers. So that's been my number one goal. And I have felt a small improvement in that. Like, I'm not waking up in the middle of the night needing my inhaler as frequently. So
Yeah.
I'm optimistic that I'll still see improvement there.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Hey, can you do me one favor? And just in your post that I read in the group, you had mentioned something about, a moral victory, I think is what the way you worded it.
Well, it was just more like, life just is crazy right now.
Yeah.
I'm transitioning to empty nester, not exactly because my daughter's still home because it's too expensive for her to move out, but she's not home a whole lot. And so that's kind of been a transition the past while. Work, like I said, I'm in the tax field and it's just been super stressful. I'm thankful I work with the people I do because they make it bearable. But the industry hasn't been so nice.
Right.
um, and just other things that are just, you walk away from a situation like, I wish I could have done that better. I don't feel like I did that right. And it's just can be a lot of negative talk and a lot of negative feelings. So
Yeah.
to get through 30 days without cheating, I still don't have sugar cravings. I'm totally a lot more comfortable just telling people, like, yeah, I'm doing this protocol and it's totally cool. Whereas before, I guess I could call myself like a closet Isagenix user. um, so I just feel more comfortable in it and just getting through these first 30 days, especially through tax season. I started it early January, not because of a New Year's resolution, but if I can't cut out food triggers during tax season,
Right.
then what's it matter the rest of the year? And I've been, I got through our first deadline on Monday for W-2s and 1099s, and I feel like I handled the stress better. So it's like, oh, finally a place in my life where I'm feeling I have wins. And it's just a morale booster, to be like, okay, I did something and I did it right.
I love the way you put that, and that's exactly what I had hoped you'd share with everyone, because you're not alone, and so many people are on hard times right now, and they're stressed out of their minds, and so much of this it's like sensory overload. It's like it's being done to us,
Yeah.
and and it's pretty tough to avoid it. It's tough to avoid it. It's hard. And I think we're all getting to a point where we're kind of saying around the virus, like, is this ever going to be over? Like, I'm kind of done with this. Right.
Yeah.
But I think all good things. We've got the warmer months ahead, and I'm sure that things will get back on track for all of us. But I wanted people to hear what you had to say around that. I think you're very inspiring, and you didn't disappoint. So thank you so much for coming on here, Jessica.
Yep, you bet. Thanks for having me.
All right, you got it. All right, you guys, that was a great way to start the call. And next up, we have, and by the way, guys, I want to make mention, I posted a disclaimer in the chat and a disclaimer on Facebook that we never attempt to treat, cure, prevent any kind of illness. And we never tell people to go off their medications. We always encourage people to consult with their medical doctors before they make any dietary changes. So just want to make sure we cover those bases. Karen Phillips, are you out there? I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Hi there.
Hey, Karen, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for joining all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. So where are you calling from?
I live in Ohio.
Oh,
so
cool.
We're getting that big rainstorm that's supposed to turn to ice and snow. So we're kind of starting to hunker down.
Yeah, you're hunkering down. Yeah, and you should. I bet you're also cheering for the Bengals.
We are.
That's pretty.
So.
I'm cheering for the Bengals as well, because I just figure, they're the underdog, never won a Super Bowl.
I know.
Why wouldn't I cheer for them? Like, that's great.
My son has been a diehard since he was a little kid. He has loved the Bengals, so he is beside himself. He's 19. He's beside himself right now. So.
Well, that's exciting. So, and then who shared ER Shred with you?
So I was watching New Year's kickoff from home. We weren't able to go out to Arizona, so I was with one of my business partners. Her name is Sarah, and we were talking. We were just kind of talking about everything, and I had just been I've been feeling very stuck for a long time. I've led some, 5-day resets, 9-day resets, using the traditional system. But I myself wasn't seeing the results that other people were getting. And I was the one in the part that was like pushing everybody forward. So
there's pressure. I think you're pointing out there's pressure there. I know what you mean.
Yeah. There's pressure, and there's other factors that come in. My age is coming into the factors, the stress of my job, just like Jessica said earlier, it's a stressful time, and things that I was doing in the past just wasn't working. And my friend Sarah looked at me, she goes, I think we need to change it up. And she's one of the most disciplined people. I feel like I have decent discipline, but she just takes it to another level. So to have a friend like that, that's like, let's do this, then I'm not going to let her down, so that helped. And then we kind of did just a little group chat while we were both doing the ER Shred.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Okay. Before you go any further, what is your passion?
I would say probably all things fitness. I'm a fitness instructor, and my job is in wellness, physical therapy. So
that is so cool.
Just movement.
Yeah, Jesse will be so excited to have you on the call, because Jesse, our ER Shred ambassador, he's a fitness professional. He's also a member of Team Isagenix. He's also an ultra marathoner, but he really thinks that the athletic world is tough to crack. Because of all the dogma around dietary habits and such. And so he is pretty passionate about showing people that you can be fat fueled and fat adaptive and really thrive in that way. So anyway, I don't want to steal any more of what you're going to say. Like, what unfolded for you? What did you experience when you did the ER Shred?
I got unstuck.
Oh,
yeah. like
Yeah.
immediately, unstuck.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, one of the best tips that I got when I was looking through the Facebook group that you
Mhm.
had, somebody said, look at all the guides. So I watched all of Jesse's video. I watched all the videos,
Yeah.
and that was super helpful because when my friend Sarah said, let's do this, I was like, okay, let's go. I'm in. So because I trust her, I know that what we're going to do is it could be a game changer for me. So I was in. So I appreciated the videos and the information of it. I am I'm a marathoner. I endurance train. I've had a lifelong just history of exercise, and so over the years, I'm sure you try different things, and
Sure.
Isagenix clicked for me. And I think what I love about it is the functional nutrition that we can do this ER shred and we can still use our good nutrition that we have.
Right.
So I appreciate the system that you guys figured out and brought to people as a gift to change it up for people who need to change it up. They're looking for something different.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I am gonna let Jesse, if he has a couple questions for you, I will let him ask those. But how long ago did you do the ER shred?
I did the January one, so
Okay.
January
All
10th
right.
through the 20th.
Okay. And have you ever done anything like that before with to be fat fueled? Had you ever gone that route
Yes,
before? You had.
I've done fat fueled route, but that was prior to my time with Isagenix.
Okay. And would you say this was easier?
Yes. And I'll
Okay.
tell you what, I had two of the best 2-day cleanses I've ever
Wow.
had in my entire time. And I
Totally.
know it's because I was fat fueled
Yeah.
completely. It was incredible. So, because
Yeah.
then
So
I've since started to integrate food back in, certain foods back in. I can tell I've lessened my fat. I did a 1-day cleanse and I was like, this isn't the same. So I appreciated the way the system worked, that I was ready for that second 2-day cleanse after 5 days of meat. But it all worked. It
that's
all worked.
awesome. And tell me this, what do you mean when you say you became unstuck? What does that describe what that looks like?
So I was able to release 8 pounds, but what happened for me is it started immediately. Like, I know you're not supposed to weigh yourself every day. I I knew there was a change after the first day, so I just was like, I was checking in and I was looking, and then I was able to, in my little private group chat, say, hey, you guys, I got this. It builds momentum. And
Yeah.
so it just got me excited and I wanted to share it. My workouts were great. I had, maybe a first couple days of feeling sluggish, but you just kind of power through. And I knew I wasn't going to quit it.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't going to give up. You can do anything for, your 10
You can do
days,
anything.
11 days. So,
That's right. You can do anything. Have you noticed do you notice as a fitness professional, do you notice a difference in terms of recovery or endurance when you are more so fat fueled?
yeah, because it's like more of like burning coal versus like kindling, just going up in flames super fast. It's more like a slow burn, sustained energy. I noticed it more with like my endurance, like running long distance. I noticed it more. I also noticed less inflammation, to be
Right.
honest, at doing it that way.
So cool. So cool. Hey, Jesse, if you're out there, do you have any other questions for a fitness professional? I don't know if you're on mute or if you're away.
It's got a cute baby.
Oh, he's got a baby. I just want to give you the opportunity, Jesse. Jesse, I can't hear you. You're still muted, even though we still can't hear you, Jess. Hold on. Do you have headphones plugged into your computer? I mean, you don't need to. I'm just wondering.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy. I wonder why. Usually we were able to hear him. Ask to unmute. He might need to call back in. Well, we'll see if he figures that out. That's okay. Now, Jesse, it's the most interesting thing because it says you're unmuted, but I don't hear you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Totally says you're unmuted, but I don't hear you. Did you have any problem with sugar cravings before ER shred,
Mhm.
Karen? Did you?
Yeah, yeah.
Have
I
you
always
noticed a
had
difference
my,
there too?
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Had absolutely no sugar cravings whatsoever.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Can you hear
And
me now?
I,
Finally, yeah, we got
Okay,
you.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Karen, were you going to say something else?
if I did, I don't remember.
Okay, go ahead,
I'm so
Jesse.
sorry.
Jesse,
I'm
I
so
wanted to
sorry.
give you the opportunity because this is a fitness professional who knows her stuff, and I just figured you always get excited when we have, fitness professionals. So
Grayson's so excited right now. Grayson's so excited right now.
yeah, boy.
He's energetic. He's like, give me the meat. The most important one, and I think Karen will agree, the recovery aspect is hands down the most important. Like if we can work out all we want, but if we can't fully recover, on an internal level, we can't show up the best the next day. And I think that's the name of the game, right? Is it's great to work out, but that recovery, that inflammation, I've heard that now from a lot. I've noticed that, drastically. Do you notice your sleep at all? Are you getting deeper sleep? Do you wake up a little different? Have you noticed that part of it?
Uh, I'm a good sleeper. So no,
Okay,
but
good.
I would say more solid sleep for sure.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I asked that because there's so much, even research into that part, so it's like, if we can take somebody like yourself, Karen, who's been working at this for so many years now, again, it's so exciting for me because it's more proof of concept that food is medicine. Food is medicine. And when we find the right food to fuel our bodies, amazing things happen. You know what I mean? And it's just so cool to keep exploring. And I find the deeper I dive with this, the more the athleticism goes up and up and up and up and up. And it's still blowing my mind. But now it's all clicking and making sense the deeper I dive into the functional side and the crazy, the stuff I've been kind of so excited about, the epigenetics and the microbiome and all that stuff. It's just like, whoa. So I said, keep charging. I'm so excited. I hope there's so many more people that have an open mind like you. That's all.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Karen. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we really appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, you guys, we've got, let's see, we've got an update. This will be really awesome. Jamie Maynard, you out there?
Yep, I'm here.
There's Nurse Jamie. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Well, good. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for coming to give us an update. Specifically, well, we got to cover the bases for people that don't know you. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee.
Clarksville, Tennessee. And who introduced you to the ER Shred?
It was a combination of people. I couldn't even tell you now. It's like
Well, that's okay.
it was about this time last year that I started hearing rumblings about it within our Isagenix group, and
Yeah.
people are saying they were doing the shred thing, and I'm like, whatever, 'cause I was going gross with school and stuff. But finally, I know for a fact, Erica Zinman and my one of my team members, Denise Brown, they basically got a hold of me on a Zoom call. They tricked me.
Oh
And
my
they,
gosh.
you've got to do this ER shred. You'd be great at it. And I'm like, you're crazy. But you're right. They were right. I should have listened.
Well, you did listen eventually, and
Yes.
we're all so grateful you did listen. You're one of our hearts of ER Shred. We really appreciate all you've done. Specifically, well, what's your passion?
Definitely my family. And I just love to help people.
Beautiful. Well, nursing's a good thing to be involved in then. About that, you posted recently, and it kind of spoke to me. And I think it just spoke to Mimi talks a lot about the human experience of ER Shred, right?
Yeah.
And that we are human. And one of the things that I really didn't like about how I did my business, if you will, for many, many years was that it was this pretentiousness. of, and you know what, our friend Karen just alluded to it as well, that she felt the need to lead the charge, but because that, we'll just call it that dynamic of, you've got to walk the talk exists, it puts a lot of undue pressure on people. And so for me, for instance, I couldn't use my own nutritional products for many years because they were making me sick. And I'm just not afraid to say that anymore. I was so afraid to say that ever to anybody because I thought, that's going to diminish, we got to pretend this is for everybody. And we got to pretend that, and in reality, there is no product out there that's a perfect and 100% for everybody. And so it's just been so refreshing to be vulnerable and to be honest. And one of the cool things we've seen with ER Shred is a lot of the people that couldn't use certain Isagenix products have been able to use them now, which has been awesome and exciting, including myself. So anyway, I wanted to ask you, just kind of speak to that post and, share with everybody, what you were talking about when you, just share with everybody like you did in the post, the experience you went through late last year and kind of where you've come to now. I think it's a story of hope, and I think it'll help a lot of people.
Okay. So about 2 years ago, I tried to go back into the medical field in my trained profession, which I was trained to be an X-ray tech. I'm a licensed X-ray tech. I practiced for almost 10 years until I had my third child, and I left the industry to raise my kids, homeschool them, and support my husband in his military career. And when I did try to go back into that field, even though I'd maintained my license for 16 years, I didn't feel like I was able to go back, like I was out of date. It'd been such a long time. The technology had changed. And the few interviews that I was called to do, they left me feeling like wanting, like I wasn't good enough or something. So I kind of took a step back and I said, well, I do want to help people. So I decided to go back to college in 2020, the end of 2020, to be a nurse, to be a registered nurse. It's a noble profession, and I was gung-ho. It's super competitive to get into. I mean, I was busting my butt, and I had a 4.0 grade point average. And I applied to the nursing program, and I got accepted around October of 2021, what should have been one of those peak moments in my life was not. I was terrified when I got accepted, and I didn't know why. And I just kind of buried it. I was like, no, you can do this. You're strong. You're tough enough, suck it up. Well, I was sucking it up for a while. And then I got my books for nursing school. I got my uniforms. I got everything. I started trying to read the books in December, and I started having full blown panic attacks. Like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't even focus. And I had to step back and reevaluate because it wasn't getting better. It was getting worse. And I was going downhill mentally so fast. And instead of looking forward to starting school in January 18th of 2022, the fear was getting worse. And I was like, something is wrong. And because of ER Shred, I was paying attention to what my mind and body were telling me, because that's one thing we teach in ER Shred is be intuitive. Listen to what your mind is telling you. Listen to your body. And I took a weekend, I took a step back, and through talking to friends and reaching out to people I know, and I suddenly realized that nursing was not what I wanted to do, not registered nursing. Mm-hmm. So I withdrew from the school. My husband's 100%. He was like, whatever you need to do, I just want you to be happy. So once I did that, I kind of just was like, I felt, when you've got this goal, this dream, and you think, this is it, I'm going to do it, right? I felt so disconnected and so lost after that. Like, what did I just do? I've worked so hard to do this, and now I'm not going to do it. And what are people going to think about me? So I kind of just sort of went inside and shut down through Christmas. I really wasn't posting much on Facebook. I was starting to tell some of my friends, some of my ER Shred friends, and they were so supportive and so non-judgmental. And that gave me hope. I was like, people understand, they understand where I'm coming from. It's not a shame thing to have depression, anxiety, mental breakdown. Well, at the same time, around December 21st, I happened to go into an urgent care clinic with my daughter for something. The lady who triaged us had a name badge that said X-ray tech. And I just started talking to her and I shared my story with her. And she said, "Are you still licensed?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm still licensed as an X-ray tech." She goes, "Fill out an application." She goes, "I can train you." And basically, almost exactly 1 month later, I started working at this clinic. I've been there. I've worked about 7 days total in the last 2 weeks because I'm part-time, but I'm also doing nursing duties and x-rays, and I love it. And it was a total God thing because it was not planned at all. But I found myself again, and I'm serving people. I'm helping people every day. I go in there with such a radiant attitude, and my coworkers just love me. They're like, "You're not like an old person at all. You're sure you're 44 years old?" And I am running around all day. It's 10-hour shift. And I'm like, "You got something else to do? I'll do something else. What do you need me to do?" And
you're the ER shred energizer bunny.
It is, exactly. Yeah. I'm way more energized now than I was when I worked in my 20s as an x-ray tech. And these are young girls and they're like sluggish and tired. And I'm like, let me tell you about what I'm doing,
That's so cool. So cool. I'm so happy for you. I want you to know that opening up like that, like you did, you didn't have to do that. And yet you did it because, for one, it feels good to be transparent. For another, everything we do, we hope to impact other people. And that's the beauty of our culture and our community. So I just wanted to commend you for being vulnerable and for also, for caring enough about others in the community to do that for them. I felt like it was a gift. That's why I wanted to have you on the call, is because I feel like it's a gift. And I feel like everybody needs to hear that. If you think about it, things only maybe 5-6 weeks ago, things you might have said they were kind of down in the dumps for you.
Yeah, I think if you would have told me 6 weeks ago, you're going to be so happy, and you're going to find fulfillment again, and you're going to find your place in this world, I would have been like, "You're crazy," But it's so amazing how things can. And it literally, at one point, I physically felt like I gave over my fear and stress to God. I said, "You've got to help me because I can't anymore." And I said, "Take it." Yeah. And at that point, that's when the shift happened, the turnaround happened.
I want to ask you about that real quick. Yeah. That part of it where you say more intuitive, more self-aware. Why do you think that is? What is that? Why do people become more self-aware? Why do you feel more self-aware?
I think because since I started ER Shred back in June last year, I've learned from you guys, the leaders, the other ER shredders, that you have to listen to your body. You have to. And and once you start cleaning it out with the shred and getting off all the sugar and junk, the brain fog disappears. I feel like my brain is a supercomputer now. Yeah. And like, I'm just going to give you a quick story about that. I haven't drawn blood in 16 plus years. They sent me into the room. They said, "Do you want to go try and draw this person's blood?" I was like, "Sure, I'll give it a shot." I came out like in less than 5 minutes with the tubes of blood, and they're like, "You got it?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was easy. What do you want me to do now?" So it's like all that stuff I knew in my 20s has come back just like that. And I don't know if that would have happened if I wasn't on ER Shred, because I feel like my brain just operates different now.
You feel like cognitive function.
Oh, yeah. It's through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. I know the feeling. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And it compounds with time. It gets better.
Yeah. The longer I'm doing this, the more clearer it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Mad respect. Love you so much. You're awesome. Thank you so much for coming on to share that. I want you to know that this demonstrates for me and for so many others the depth of ER Shred. And that, to a lot of us, that's what we're craving depth. We are craving depth. We want the depth, and really every testimonial tonight has had depth. And I'm just so grateful for everybody that's come on and shared. Thank you so much to all of you. With that said, Jesse, if you are ready, I'm going to turn it over to you, brother.
First off, Jamie.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
I'm so excited to have watched all of your journey. It's so awesome. Thank you. Like Sean said, thank you. I have a question for you, if you don't mind. What have you changed throughout this whole time? Like, have you changed a lot with like intake? Have you kept it really basic? Like, what more have you noticed around foods that we can share with people? Do we need all the options? Should we keep it simple? Like, you're a busy mama, you're busy on the go. Like, what can we, there's a lot of people that have these worries, and I feel like I'd be doing them not a service if I didn't ask you that question, having the success and doing it so long.
That's a great question. I have found the foods that work for me, and I stick to them. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I eat every day.
Love this.
Shake, I have my butter coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
I work out. I have my shake. I do one of the, I can't remember the name of it. It's the one Isagenix product. Serenity. Is it Serenity? Adaptogen. Elixir.
Oh, right.
Okay. Ionix. Yeah.
I do that in the morning, go to work, drink water all day. Lunchtime, I have my second shake, and I'll have usually a beef stick, a Chomps beef stick. And then around 2, I have been able to work the e-shots back in, because like I said, I'm working 10-hour shifts, and I'm about to go to 12-hour shifts. But when I get home, I've gotten really good about, we're using the crock pot. So we prepare whatever meat ahead of time, so it's ready to go. Then when I get home, I do this. This is like, for me, it's like a religion now. It's an organic pink lady apple, because it's so crunchy and sweet. Kimchi, Korean sauerkraut, Kalamata olives, a little bit of the Dubliner cheese, and then whatever the meat is, and a ton of butter on that.
Yeah.
And pink Himalayan sea salt. And I do that like every single day. That's my regimen. And I exercise every single day before I go to work. So it's either walking, yoga, or rowing.
Yeah.
And I just follow that every single day. It's a no-brainer for me now.
And what makes you not want, like, people will say, oh my God, you don't get sick of that? And they'll say, oh my God, you never eat a donut, you never have a cookie, like, are you like deprived? Is this like, are you like tortured? Like, like, what would you say to that?
I just don't want it anymore. And I actually crave the apples and the kimchi for dinner. That's what I crave, is healthy food now.
Yeah.
It's not like I crave it like, that feeling you would get with like sugary stuff in the past, where it's like, that saying you can't eat just one. Like, I eat my apple and I'm satisfied. I don't want to go eat 2 apples. I eat the apple and I'm satisfied, so it's the self-portion control is very easy with this, because I listen, I feel full, I'm done. It's so easy.
Yeah. And do you ever feel, do you have like cravings anymore? Do you feel starving ever?
No, honestly, I don't.
Yeah.
I just feel satisfied all the time.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I did. Even when I have my monthly cycle, I don't like the chocolate cravings. I just don't want it.
That's the second time we've heard about that now. Just want to bring that to attention. That's not something to just brush away. I'm going to leave it right there before we got to be careful, but I'm just going to bring that up. That's the second woman that said that now. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much. I hope people understand that this is longevity. I hope that people understand that health is the long game. I hope people just keep remembering that they deserve to not be a slave of food, that they deserve to feel awesome. They deserve to be in control. They deserve to all the things that you've been able to share, you know what I mean? And it's so powerful, Sean, like I think you brought up, because it's not all rainbows. it's bad days, it's bad times, it's rough moments, it's whatever. But that foundation, Jamie, you held on to that foundation. You really locked into that. And I'm so thankful for that, because I try to preach that, but people hear it if they want. And they don't if they don't. And you held that. And that shows, the foundation can really impact that with health in check. It can really help with every aspect of life. And I just really believe that. I've always preached that, Sean. So I think that's so cool to kind of start to see these examples. We started with Coleman last night, with Jamie. We're seeing so many more people now that we've been a year plus, and people are still here. That in itself is unheard of in this industry. Like, it just doesn't, like, people don't stay. They stay for 2 weeks and they leave, and then they maybe come back 7 months later and whatever. But the longevity is one of the most powerful pieces of this that I hope people can grasp. Like, again, we're not doing any harm. We're not depriving the body. We're literally just removing the poison that clogs us up. You know what I mean? I mean, you think of it as like an LA freeway, right? Like, do you want to travel in LA at peak rush hour when it's clogged up? Like, no, you can't get anywhere. And unfortunately, like, that's where a lot of our bodies are right now. They're just clogged up like the LA freeway in rush hour, from the overload of stress, from the bad quality of sleep, from the lack of movement, from the bad food choices, to the ultra processed foods and the highly processed foods, and the 133 pounds of sugar a year and flour a year that the average American eats. That's 1 pound a day. We're clogged up. And all we're realizing now is that when we just unclog the body and give it the space, and we decide to say, hey, let's wake up a little earlier and travel the LA freeway at 4 o'clock in the morning when it's not clogged, we'll get somewhere, and that's the analogy. If you can kind of put that together in the human body, I know it's so much more complicated, but I like to keep things simple. I'm a simple guy, and we can throw the mumbo jumbo science, but really, if you just look at it that way, food is so powerful. Food is not like medicine, my friends. Food is medicine. And if we can really start to appreciate that, there's so much overwhelming evidence that you can find now to support these facts, with vitamins and minerals and trace minerals. And if we just keep honoring our body, like Jamie shared, and we keep listening to our body, and we just stay in check and stay in tune, doesn't mean you can't have fun. Doesn't mean you can't splurge a little bit. Doesn't mean you can't, go out and treat yourself and have a girls' night, or have a guys get together, or like, no, like, get that. That's all mainstream crap that's been promoted to you. You're sold the story. Like, no, it's a lot simpler. Like, listen to you. You deserve to listen to you. There's a reason that you're talking to yourself. Like, just start to pay attention, and that's when ultimate goodness will happen. So,
Jesse, we've Crystal and I have both stopped drinking alcohol, and not to demonize alcohol, like, we enjoyed drinking alcohol, and then it got to the point where we would only drink like an ounce of a shot, and then we'd have 2 drinks, and that was it. But then we cut it to 1 drink, and it's the funniest thing, because it almost feels like when you get to that really pure state and you feel your very best, you feel optimal, and you just feel so kick ass, and you love it. You're just so jazzed about it, and it's so personal. And then you say, wait a minute, when I have that drink, I don't feel that. I don't feel kick ass. I don't. And so, some people might not feel that. They might not, and that's okay. And I don't pass judgment on people that drink alcohol. But at the same time, we gave up alcohol for no other reason than we didn't feel absolutely optimal at all times. And we just, for us, that's a proposition. We choose absolute wellness.
I think that's the coolest part, is that, we've always promoted this is a journey for everybody. I think that's really key. I think that's a big piece that's missing. It's like Jamie said, it's a place for you to come and and feel you know what I mean? Like whatever that may be, like, I don't know, but whatever that may be, it's okay. You know what I mean? And we'll just keep, the uplifting thing. That's a piece of the connection. You're talking about, it's amazing. I forgot if it was either the World Health Organization or the Heart Association. It was in something that I just was studying. They changed their mind, actually, funny enough, on alcohol. They used to say, oh, a little bit is okay in moderation. Like, no, like that goes straight to the liver. It's legit poison. I mean, there's zero nutritional benefit. I mean, it's straight poison. We become immune. That's how crazy our bodies are. You know what I mean? That we can actually adapt to this and be like, oh, I can outdrink you. Remember those days, those younger days? It's like, dude, I could drink so much more than you. Oh my God, the damage that we were doing. Like, holy shit, like shooting beer bombs off the second, story. And I was like proud to chug a 6-pack at one time. I was like, oh my God, if I only knew what I do now, But it's funny. You're another example of like, you put that in and it's not because you can't. It's just that it's like, you realize that once you're so in tune, and I feel you because I'm in that place that it's like, I'll still do things here and there. And when I do, I pay the price. And I'm like, well, there you go, stupid. It's like you start to realize, and then you do that enough. And I've been through that period too. Man, I've been doing this for 20 years. You get through that period, and then you just get to a point where it's like, it's not even worth it. Like you just feel so good that it's not worth it. And that's truly, I guess, the golden place. And that's the place that I hope everybody can get to. I truly do. I hope they go.
We would call it like the ultimate level of empowerment. It's just trippy.
Call it shredder heaven. Let's call it that. I mean, it's a euphoric feeling, and again, it's not that you don't feel stressed. It's not that you don't have bad days. It's not that you won't get in fights with your significant other. Like, nope, all that happens. Perfect example.
For sure.
But you can be metabolically healthy.
Yeah.
Metabolically healthy. And that is something that I believe we should all keep striving for. And again, the ER tracks, I believe, is without a shadow of doubt in my mind, my belief from everything that I've looked at and kept researching and still continue to research. It is the solid tracks, Sean, for people to set their self up for longevity of health, because we're just giving the body really what the body's been craving for so long, and we've stripped it away so many years ago, and now we're just giving it back. We're giving it back, and we're starting to realize, and there's a big movement in this. Unfortunately, it will be, we won't see it mainstream, sadly, for a very, very long time. But the cool thing is that we have this, and my vision of this, like I shared so many times, like I see millions eventually. I really do. It's gonna, like, how can it not? Like even so many people are like, oh, I get the bigger picture of this now. They weren't in it before for helping, and now they're like, okay, I'm in. And I'm like, okay, good, because I'm glad you get it. Like, it's that big, So
yeah, because the result is there. I'm going to read you one more result before we go, Jesse, because I think everyone might get a kick out of this one. This is an individual I won't mention by name because she basically said that she didn't think her result was that significant. However, she's a very petite person. She still dropped 7 pounds in the 11 days. And I asked her if there was any non-scale victories. And she said, overall confidence, feeling sexy, feeling like I'm capable to help others, clothes fitting nicely again, feeling like a product of the product again. Also just reconnecting with food and building a better relationship. I feel like, this is a funny one. I like the way she put this. I feel like I got some food virginity back, if that makes sense. Able to date food and see how we feel about each other. Isn't that great?
It's funny, we're laughing, but that's so deep, actually.
I'm not laughing at it. I'm
laughing with it. I'm laughing. It's great. I'm saying we're laughing, but it's like, it's so deep. Like, that was so deep. That's a true connection. That's food is medicine. That's, you know what I mean? Like, again, it's not just, it's the food that we start with, but then it's that mental connection, and then it's that physical, and then it's that self-belief, and then it's that self-love, and then that falls over into our relationships, and those relationships attitude fall over into our career, and that makes us a better career. Like, dude, you see what I'm saying? Like, totally. This is literally this is the bridge. You just keep building a bigger bridge. You keep
That's
building a
it.
bigger bridge. You keep laying a bigger brick, another brick, and you keep going. And that's the beautiful thing. Yeah, ripple effect for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, we are going to call it a night. Unless you have anything else to add, I just wanted to say thank you to our superheroes who came on tonight. You guys all graduate to the level of ER Shred Warrior. You go
For
from hero to superhero because you came on to cheer on others and inspire others. I'm going to unmute this and end this call. And if you guys want to clap for all the wonderful people who came on and shared, that would be awesome.
Good job, everybody. Enjoyed it.
You might have to unmute yourselves.
Jessica got off early, so I'll tag her on the page.
All right,
night
you
now.
guys.
Hey.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Hey,
That's
good
me.
night. See ya.
Ouch.
All right, you guys. Thanks again.
good
We'll see
night.
y'all.